Yo, what is up, everybody? It is Colin C back from the Crypto Boys, and I am going live today. I'm going to check and make sure my mouth is on target because sometimes the voice and the whole mouth thing doesn't work out as well as we want it to. So I'm going to check it, see if it's all going well. And then, yeah, we're going to get into a live and what I've got going on and what I've been thinking about here. Let's see, make sure everything's good to go. All right, we're good to go. All right, so I'll bring up the chat for the comments and things. Honestly, I was going to just shoot this video as a regular video and edit and all that stuff, but I just didn't have time. I've been running around like crazy, getting into our new house, and I just kind of want to come on and talk to you guys. I missed the live this weekend, which, you know, I never miss lives. I never want to miss lives. They're my favorite thing to do, and Joe will tell you that. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go through basically what I was going to do in my normal video anyways, and kind of a couple things that I've thought of Bitcoin just over the weekend and going through everything I've went through just last night and this morning, really early in the morning a little bit. And instead of shooting a video, hey, if someone wants to come on here and chat, why not? Thank you for gave the thumbs up. If you guys would give a like to the video, if you like the content, you like something that we talk about today, give it a thumbs up. If not, come check us out anyways. Throw some comments down in the chats. I know it's early. I know a lot of people don't have time in the afternoon on a Monday, but I came in early, had a lot of stuff to do, so got that all done. We're good to go. Tanner, notification worked for him. Let's go, Tanner. Missed you, buddy. Been working like crazy, I know. So we have had a crazy last 10 days in crypto. Absolutely crazy. And why I put the thumbnail or the title of this video is bear market confirmed, I am still not convinced. People are going to call me the hopium spreader, and if that's the worst thing I get called today, then it's probably the best thing I get called today. So I really don't care. And yeah, I'm going to spread a little bit of hopium today. I'm also going to go through some things that I'm like, but is bear market 100% absolutely confirmed 2+ year, 3+ year bear market, and you won't see anything until 2024, maybe even 2025? I'm just not convinced. Or the next halving, whenever that is, I think that's late 2024. I am not totally convinced. So if you guys have something that you want to share with me, go ahead, throw it in the comments. As always, I'll get to it. But let's go ahead and get into a little bit of the video and some things that I wanted to chat about today, okay? All right, guys. So the first thing I want to go over is our Luna, and I'm not even going to go over coin market cap. Not today anyways, maybe later. So first thing I want to go over is our Luna Foundation guard. So this is some crazy bearish stuff, but it is what it is. The numbers are out. The numbers are out on Luna as of May 7th. So what is that, like 9 days ago? They had 80,394 Bitcoin, 39,000 BNB, 26 million in USDT, 24 million in USDC, 2 million in Avalanche, 600,000 in USD, or almost 700,000 USDT, and almost 7 million Luna. That is insane. So that's like 4 or 5. If you add this all up, it's like $4 or $5 billion, somewhere in that range. Okay. And are they going broke or what? So now you see what they released, what they had to sell. Here's what they are left with. Think about the selling pressures put on the market. Now, listen, before I get into this, I understand a lot of this was, or some of this was probably sold on the OTC market. So who knows what that's going to do when it hits, if it hasn't hit, all that good stuff. But understand this. They are left with 313 Bitcoin from what was that, 80,000? 313 Bitcoin from 80,000. 39,000 BNB. 1 point in this, so they haven't sold any Avalanche. They sold, obviously, have some UST, whatever. And then they're a bunch of Luna because they've obviously added a bunch of decimal points to Luna. So, but they're down to like $300 million. They went from 4 to 5 billion to 300 million. And here's the thing that's the most sad about this is real people, real investors lost all their money. So if we jump over to CoinDesk here, this is just an article that I wanted to go over. Was the collapse of UST and Luna was devastating, but there is still hope in crypto. When a prominent stablecoin and the token that it backs has failed, the broader ecosystem certainly has dealt a blow, and ultimately it is surviving. Now, I know I'm starting off with some bearish things, and that's going to be a little bit of a trend for the first half of this video. Then I'm going to get into some more bullish things that I've been looking at, but I do want you guys to think about, I'm going to kind of sum this all together of why I don't think it's 100% confirmed yet, but let's go ahead and get back into it just really fast. First, I want to highlight first thing I want to highlight is regular hardworking people lost their money because of this crypto crash. I mean, like I said in my video yesterday, people weren't taking a ton of profits. They think, they hear stablecoin and they immediately think it's stable. There's nothing that's going to happen to it. There's no depegging that's going to happen. I mean, Luna seems to be legit. Everybody's talking about it. The big institutions are flocking to it. The biggest of big names are in Luna and in UST. So no one was worried about it. And right. So when it started to crash and these big whales started, trying to save their money, and it started to crash more, and the normal working people were at freaking work, they don't have time to get on there and just sell it right away like it was going down. What was it? However long it crashed, however much percentage. It is insane to me. It is insane to me that normal hardworking people can lose this amount of money, and now they've got to figure out what to do. I mean, how much money they have staked there. Like I said, my buddy, he had a ton staked. He was going to pay for his car, all gone, like 24 grand, 24 or 25 grand he had in there that he was going to pay for a car cash. And obviously that can't happen now. So, legit hardworking people had this happen to them, and that's just something that I think is extremely bearish for what was going on and what was going to happen. Now, I think the next thing I do want to jump into really quick is the next Bitcoin halving. So if we're thinking pretty much Bitcoin halving over, market obviously massive crash, selling pressure, all-time high last week, all that crazy stuff. 721 days is what we're going to have to wait for the next halving. Obviously, somewhere in that range, we're going to get some sort of bull market, bear market getting out of. But who knows when that's going to happen? Who knows how long that's going to be? So that could really take some time if this is a traditional bear market like we've seen in the past. Okay, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. It doesn't seem like anybody's called the right thing yet. People have said take profits. Some people have. Some people are like, hey, it's going to 150K. Don't sell anything before 100K. That hasn't happened so far, but who knows what's happening. I do want to get into really quick is the crypto fear and greed. All right, guys. So the fear and greed index, if you guys have watched over this weekend, and this is kind of what I was going back channeling through over the weekend and stuff, it got down to a 9. The lowest this has ever been is an 8. And when it hit 8, it started to skyrocket very shortly after, but this got down to a 9. That is the highest extreme fear we have ever, really the second highest, the second lowest, whatever you want to call it, second lowest we've ever had in the market. That is extreme fear, which also means extreme accumulation and extreme buying for whales. Because I can tell you this right now, the people with the biggest money, the people that are the market movers, they are buying right now. Just look at Bitfinex. Bitfinex, I'm pretty sure, has like 70% of what's going into Bitfinex right now, or 90%, something crazy, is longs. Our longs are accumulating. They are getting ready for something to happen. I don't know what it is. Have no clue. I'm not even going to guess on that. But I'm telling you this right now. There is more bullish news out there than you think, even with all this negativity around. Next thing I want to get into real quick about a little bit of bearish is this SEC. What's going to happen with the SEC? What's going to happen with the commissioner tighter stable coin regulations? Yellen says stablecoin's not a real threat to financial basically status, which is, I guess, kind of good for the time being, but this is going to happen. You see in Europe, it's happening very quickly. One place we might see some movement is around stablecoins. That's an area, obviously, that's gotten a lot of attention, well, clearly, but here's kind of what I want to focus on. I wouldn't characterize it as a real threat to the financial stability, but they are growing very rapidly, and they present the same kind of risk that we have known for centuries in connection with bank runs. This is when you have it decentralized and you have platforms like this and they can go to zero when you have 5 billion or 4 billion backing it. That is what's scary. That is what now everybody's, freaking out when you see USDT or whatever you see Tether started to lose its peg. So you don't know what's going to happen when you do have a decentralized platform. And that's why we all love crypto, let's be honest. But some regulation has got to happen because we can't have normal people losing all their money. We can't have people so fearful that they're going to lose all their money, they're not going to invest anymore. Now, I understand people forget, but when you lose money like that and several hundreds of thousands, even probably millions of people just went through and are going through right now, I mean, as the sting even wore off, absolutely not. You can't have that happen. So that's coming regardless if we like it or not. We're going to have to figure out a way to deal with it, and I think we will. Actually, I know we will. I'm absolutely bullish on the future, and yeah, I'm fine with it. Okay, so a couple other things that I want to get into really quick, and we're going to start tipping the scales just a little bit a little bit more bullish in my opinion here. Let's get into, we've got the president here of El Salvador. He is saying, which could be very bullish, tomorrow 32 central banks and 12 financial authorities, 44 countries will meet in El Salvador to discuss financial inclusion, digital economy, banking and the unbanked, and of course, the Bitcoin rollout. Like, let's go. This is huge information. This is the kind of stuff that there's still bullish information floating around that you don't have to go very far to look at it. Obviously, Luna took over the market last week, and it will for quite some time for good reason. Totally understandable. But there's a lot of good things. You got the Central Bank of Egypt, Jordan, Nigeria. Now, nothing absolutely huge right now, but you can see that the wheels are starting to turn, the gears are starting to grind, and this is exactly what you want to see when you see mass adoption on its way. And when that starts to happen and you see less fear and you see more people getting into it in a stable, consistent manner with the whole spot ETFs and ETFs in general, and you see Australia, they just approved 3 ETFs, so those are good to go and rocking. Got Canada's got one. You can see trillions of dollars being added in, and definitely billions upon billions of dollars. So if we jump over to talking about spot ETFs, is GreyScale. GreyScale tells SEC that turning biggest Bitcoin fund into ETF will unlock $8 billion for investors. You're seeing this. Now they're starting to listen. The SEC is now starting to say, you know what? Maybe we should stop, completely throwing this away and start listening. At one of the bearish times, the most black swan events of black swan events besides the one we had in 2020, but for the crypto space, this was just as close, right? Is that we are still having the talks, and when these talks start to actually happen, you start to bring them to the floor. These are the kind of things you want to see, is that you see GreyScale and other things picking it up, because I'm telling you right now, my grandma, your grandma and grandpa, your aunt, uncle, whoever you want, your mom, your dad, they're not going out and figuring out how to buy Bitcoin. They're not going out and figuring out how to buy these altcoins. It's not going to happen. But if they can do a spot ETF where they have to directly go buy Bitcoin, these spot ETFs have to go directly buy Bitcoin, directly buy Ethereum, what do you think's going to happen? I mean, seriously, what do you think's going to happen? It's going to drive the price up like crazy. And then when they see that they're early, because a lot of people right now, you're going to be so early in the space, there's going to be a time when you look far back and you're going to be telling your kids, yeah, you just bought a Bitcoin for $1 million. That's funny. Or bought some Bitcoin for $1 million. Yeah, I remember back when it was 30K. I remember back when it was 25K. I remember back when it dipped down to 25K because a UST got depegged. That is the kind of stuff you're going to be saying in 10, 15, 20 years. I'm not kidding you. At least that's what I believe in. Not financial advice as always. But that's what I believe in. That's why we come on here every single day. So anyways, I think that this is only extremely bullish news coming out of GreyScale. And there's another one that is just applied. They've already been denied once, but they're reapplying. So there could be 2 on the horizon. We already know the United States is late to this, and they're late to the party. And we always want to be first, especially in the financial sector. So you're going to see that coming here very soon, I think, just in my own personal opinion. All right, next thing I want to look at, guys, just really quick here, is the total hash rate. So you look at this total hash rate for miners. Joe and I, specifically pretty much me, I like to turn my miners on and leave them on. They're not going off. They're never going off. But the hash rate is still going up, right? We're still pumping, no big deal. But you jump over to the miners' revenue, it's still going down. It is not looking good whatsoever, because our miner rate is almost as far down as when we were back in July of 21. So it's crazy to think how low it is right now, but how high the hash rate is still rolling up. So if you put those 2 and 2 together and you think about the difficulty and then you think about the hash rate still rolling up, like, this is bullish news. However you slice it up, that's bullish news. People are willing to pay more money, including us, pay less money and make less money, pay more money, make less money by keeping their miners on through these volatile times and these hot days and all this crazy stuff, and still accumulate more Bitcoin. They just want more because they know where it's going. They don't care how much it costs for more energy. They want more Bitcoin because eventually you're not going to be able to mine any more Bitcoin. Eventually they're going to all be out there, and that's not too far away. All right, guys. So next thing I want to jump into just really quick here. Let's see here. Bitcoin longs. We're looking at Bitcoin long positions. A spike of 60% on Bitfinex. You're looking at like 70 or 90 or some crazy percent of, like I said earlier, look at this long position. That's insane. You're telling me, I mean, these longs are going crazy. You're telling me that people know something that we don't? I mean, as normal everyday investors, you're telling me that? You're crazy. Of course they do. What is it? We have no idea. We're not going to know. But it's pretty insane to think where the market could go just based on people still buying. You're not going to see this kind of accumulation in 2018. You're not going to see this kind of accumulation back before really we had this data to track. You're not going to see it because no one was buying then. Everyone was running for the hills. But nowadays, people are like, no, this is way too cheap. I got to get in. So did we just see the bottom of the market? That's something you got to ask yourself. Was 25K going to be the bottom, or are we going to go and dip further? Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But there are still bullish things going on across the entire crypto market if you're willing to look at it and you're looking to see like, hey, there's some good things happening. Now, here are the big things that I'm looking at for the future and kind of going forward is with what, not exactly, because everybody's like, oh, what's going to happen when the interest rates go back up, or and we add more to it at all times because we're obviously going to go up supposedly another 50 basis points soon and possibly 4 more times throughout the year. What happens when, here's my question to you, what happens, and the bears out there, what happens when it stops? What happens when it's like, hey, inflation's falling further than we thought? I know it didn't exactly this time. It still fell. I still think it might have peaked in March, and it still fell a little bit, but not as far as we thought. What's going to happen when things get figured out over, in Russia and Ukraine? What's going to happen when we don't raise the rates as fast as we thought because things are going back in order? What's going to happen then? How is the market going to react? I don't care about how it's going to react when we add 50 more basis points because we already pretty much relatively know how it's going to react when that happens. It's already happened a bunch, right? It's already happened in the past. But what's going to happen when they stop? What's going to happen when the OG, bro, why haven't you all partnered up with Cheeky? I'm just going to star that comment because I love it. I love it. We watch it all the time, and yeah, we'll see. All I gotta say is we'll see. I'm happy about the future Happy about the future. Anyways, what's gonna happen when how is the market gonna react then? Next up, what's gonna happen when GreyScale gets approved? I mean, what's gonna happen to the market then? Is there gonna be enough buying pressure? Is there already enough going into it? Is that gonna send it? Are these countries gonna start adopting? What if 44 countries say, hey, they're gonna start adopting? Does that mean, well, too bad, next halving, we're waiting until 2024 to do anything? Maybe we are. Maybe these 4-year cycles are dead money and this is what we have to do, and we have to just keep the exact same cycles, and we've just got to be better at taking profits and better at predicting how high it's going to go and how low it could go and when to accumulate. Maybe that's true. I'm just not there that I believe that yet. We've only been setting a lower low for a little bit. So, through this run, we've still been setting higher lows, which is a bullish pattern. Did that completely break down? It completely broke down, shattered the glass, and went all over us bulls anyways. Joe's been calling this forever. So Joe's been on the money so far. So don't discount Joe's bear theory because that dude's been on the money. I have been wrong since November. I'll be the first one to admit that. But I'm still bullish. I'm still here saying I don't think we have to wait till 2024. I think this is the greatest time you're ever going to get to accumulate. I think the 100x coins are probably going bye-bye here in the near future, and accumulating now is massive. But I don't know for a fact that we've got to wait that long because of the news that's coming out. It is not the crypto market of 2018. It is not the crypto market of 2016. It is not the crypto market of 2014. It's not the same. It is completely different where we're headed, just in my opinion. The OG says the amount of Bitcoin left on exchanges is less than 2.5 million. Crazy. Squeeze on supply will happen soon. I couldn't agree more. You're absolutely right. I think so. I'm still a bull. I'm out there. The next thing I want to go over in my third kind of bullish scenario right now is what happens when regulation heats up? What happens when stablecoins start to be, I don't even know about phased out, but maybe back differently? Possibly the CBDC comes out. Do we figure out how to accumulate? Do we figure out how to work together? Do we have some yin and some yang, or are we just like shutting it down? Market's going to crash again, and that's just what we're going to do is, inflation's still rising. Maybe it's not. Basis points goes up. Interest rates still got to go up. Food and gas are still at all-time highs. Or what happens when that stuff starts coming down? People start getting extra money. I mean, crypto goes on a little bit of a run. Does that mean we're still waiting 2.5 more years? I don't know. But these are conversations that I have in my head all the time. I'm riding my bike for 7 hours this weekend, and I'm thinking about crypto. I'm thinking about what I got to do on the bike and all this other stuff. But anyways, it was just thoughts that I had that I wanted to get on here and share. The OG, see you, buddy. So I don't know. Those are all questions that I've got. And, when you typically see the fear and greed as low as it was, and then it obviously had a little bit of a recovery back up to 14, you never know. You're not going to be able to predict these things. No one's going to be able to predict perfectly what's going to happen. But I wanted to come on here and at least say, hey, there's bullish things out there if you want to look for them. There's bullish signs all over the place. There's bearish signs all over the place. But did these final thoughts, and I got to get off here, is that did these last couple of huge black swan events and crashes change the market when we were already in a recovery? We were setting higher lows since November. We've been setting higher lows, and that is extremely bullish. So higher lows since November. Obviously, this black swan event put us in the gutter once again. But what happens now? What happens now? Is this kind of some artificial going down? I obviously understand completely that the altcoins are absolutely and totally wrecked. Is that always the sign? It's like, well, altcoins are down 90%. We're in a bear market. We're done for at least a year and a half before we get some upward pressure. Maybe it is, but maybe it's not. And who knows? No one knows. But I did want to say, hey, there's still some good things floating out there. There's some great buys right now. You can find, you can sometimes find a flower in a big pile of crap. You know what I'm saying? Every once in a while. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at the market. We're still DCAing over here at the Crypto Boys. We just threw some into Quant, not very much, just a couple $100 worth we threw into Quant, which is an awesome project. If you haven't looked into Quant, that's got some legs on it. I'm telling you, people, that's got some legs on it. Neither here nor there. Threw a pretty big bag at Sologenic recently. Threw another big bag at Harmony One and VeChain, and we did buy an Ethereum as well. So that's all I've got today. If you guys, I know this is a terrible time to do a live, but it's literally the time that I had today. So I wanted to come on here and at least do something, get something out today, and give you my thoughts over the weekend because I wasn't able to be on here with Joe. So I figured, hey, let's jump on here, tell you guys what I'm thinking. If you guys watch this video later, that's completely fine. I'll put some timestamps down below, but throw your comments down below. I'd love to chat back with you guys. Other than that, that's pretty much all I got. As always, guys, we appreciate you rocking with the fittest crypto channel on YouTube, and I am out.